Welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast, the only podcast for dance studio owners, where each week we bring you business growth strategies to help you increase your profits, impact the lives of more students, while ensuring you get back some time to have a little life outside of the studio. It's time for you to become the go-to studio in your area. Now, here's your host, founder of the Dance Studio Owners Association, Clint Salter.
Welcome back. It's Clint, and thanks so much for joining us. We have our second last interview for our special Backstage series. Today we are going over to the UK. We're talking to the awesome Laura Watkins, who has a couple of locations. She runs the baby ballet program, and get this, she has over 600 students under the age of 8 years old. She's done that in just 5 years. Laura is one of our inner circle members. She is delightful, funny, witty, but really hardworking and has a strong vision for what she wants to create in her studio. You're absolutely going to love my conversation with Laura. And if you haven't already, you are running out of time to apply for the Inner Circle. This is our last intake for 2017. So if you'd like to work closely with myself, our amazing team of coaches, and to be supported by a group of successful studio owners, I encourage you to jump on in and apply. You can get all the details at dancestudioownersassociation.com/inner circle. Now let's get on with the show. Here is the amazing Laura. Hey Laura, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, Laura, tell us, because you've got a little bit of a different setup, and I wanted you to come on board. You're one of our Inner Circle members, but you're also part of the Baby franchise company that I'm a huge fan of with Claire over in the UK. So, tell us a little bit about how you kind of started in this world of having a baby ballet franchise.
Yeah, sure. I loved dancing my entire life, and when I went to college it just seemed natural to study performing arts and dancing, and then when I graduated there and became a teacher, I was obviously looking for work, and baby ballet came up as an option. So I started work. I was a teacher first of all for baby ballet for 2 years, and then when my nan passed away, she left me some inheritance money, and I thought, well, I love teaching baby ballet, why not buy my own area and have my own little baby ballet franchise. So that's what I did. That was originally in Romford in Essex. If anyone's watched The Only Way is Essex, that's exactly where I live. And then we expanded into Brentwood, Billericay and Chelmsford. So sort of like the next town along, then the next town along, and the next town after that.
Yeah. And so tell us about those first few years, because you predominantly work with preschool, young preschool age students.
Yeah.
What were you doing those first few years to kind of establish yourself in your studio in the market?
Well, not having children myself, I didn't know too much about preschoolers. But I mean, from a franchise point of view, that's absolutely fantastic, because the franchise helps us with ideas, and like we have our class plans all prepared and given to us, and like the things we use in class. But yeah, just trying to sort of build numbers and chat to all the mums that were coming to class to try and figure out where they go and what else they do, to try and get my way in there so that I could maybe do a little taster session or some advertising and sort of slowly build up numbers like that.
Yeah, cool. So just tell us, before we go any further, tell us where you're at now in terms of how many locations do you work out of, and about how many students do you have?
Quick count. I think we have about 18 different venues that we use. I'm a little bit different to a lot of the other people you've spoken to. I don't have my own premises, so I hire church halls and leisure centres and scout halls and things like that. So I think we've got about 18 different venues that we use, about 600 students, and then 8 teachers that work for me as well. And all our little ones are from 6 months up to our oldest is 8 at the moment.
Yeah, amazing. I want to talk talk about the fact, and I wanted to share that because you've grown. And how long have you had now the Baby Ballet franchise for?
So it was 5 years last month.
Yeah.
We had a nice big birthday party month.
I remember the big birthday party month. It was a good one. And you got a whole stack of students as well during that month. Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about, I guess, in those beginning days, you wanting to get students through the door. You didn't know, like you said, you didn't kind of know much about this age group. What were the things that you were like really focused on? Like what were the things that you were like, right, you know what, this really works and this really works? Like how have you built a brand now with over 600 students in 5 years? Like that's a big achievement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we first started, we just had 2 classes. I originally was going to start with 1, and then that sort of just filled up instantly. So I already had to add a second one on. But like I said, sort of talking to them parents and then just doing lots and lots of research to find out other preschool activities in the area, so that they hopefully had ideal premises that we could go and use, and making some sort of connections with them. There's a lovely lady near me that does baby massage, which is up to about a year old, and we're always like swapping each other's leaflets, recommending each other and building those relationships with other businesses of sort of similar ages. Where we start so young at 6 months, in the UK, parents are often still on maternity leave then, or mums are still on maternity leave. So they want to do a couple of different activities a week. They don't want to be stuck indoors all the time. So, they might do baby ballet one day and then go and do baby sensory another day, or swimming another day. So having those relationships with all those different businesses, we can all help each other out.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to touch on the venue side of things. So you're working out of about 18 venues. Now, a lot of people would say, wow, that's a lot. How do you, because you've had great growth, especially over the last 12 months, you've had a lot of growth. How do you, and you're stepping into more of a CEO role as well. What do you say to those people that go, you're crazy? Why are you working out of all those venues? How does that model, how does it work for you?
I think it works quite well. Some of our venues are amazing, and I would love to be able to be in there all day, every day. But because they're amazing, everyone else wants to be in there all of the time. Yeah. And so they're jam-packed. And the amount of times I email or ring people and I'm like, please tell me as soon as you've got like another hour or 45 minutes, please, I can fit a class in that time. It's fine. But yeah, and it's just sort of having all these different venues so that if people don't drive, or a certain day or a certain location isn't good for them, then there might be one that's only another 5 minutes down the road that they can get to a little bit easier, or the bus goes that way, or there's a car park at that one, or one of our venues is amazing and has absolutely everything in it. It's got a little cafe, a soft play area. Everyone loves coming there, and they spend like the entire day at this one venue, do a bit of baby ballet, get a sandwich with their friend, go in the soft play area. So yeah, I like having lots of different venues.
What do you look for, when you're looking at new venues, and as you've built and grown, to 18 venues, what's important in a venue? Like, what are you looking for?
I've actually got a nice little tick sheet that I made of all the things that I would look for. So there's about 20 things on there, and I try to have about 15 that it ticks off. So things like parking, baby changing, because we've got such little ones, how light it is, because a lot of church halls are really dark and dingy, and it just doesn't set a good impression. If you walk in and the room's, a bit miserable, straight away you're thinking, I don't really like this. This is a bit weird. Where if it's lovely and bright, parents walk in, they're like, oh, okay, this is nice. Yeah. Obviously nice and clean. Toilets are accessible. Ideally, if it's sort of on the first floor, they've got a lift, because again, we've got little ones, they're in buggies. We need buggy parking or a really big hall so that they can fit in. So I've got this lovely little checklist that as soon as I go to a new venue, I'm like, tick, 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 tick. No, can't do that one. Okay, it fills most of the boxes. So yeah, that would be a good place to go to.
Yeah, and obviously you had times where you've opened a class and maybe it hasn't done well. Like you're like, okay, this class is going to go great. We're going to put it here at this venue. I mean, how long, one of the questions I get a lot, and that's why I wanted to ask you, is like, how do you know like how long to leave a class going before you go, you know what, this market, this area, for this age group, it doesn't work, let's not do it. How do you make those decisions?
So I, from the very beginning, set a I don't know what to call it, sort of a system, I suppose, of how long I could run a class without it doing well. So we block book for our classes, so children can do a little trial for 3 weeks and then they pay by a half term, which is about 6-7 weeks usually. So I tend to give it about 3 months. If it's not making good money by then it's out. Sure. Occasionally, if it's sort of teetering on the edge, you know, it might be just about breaking even. I think, okay, you know, I'll give this another month, but then, you know, that's written down. I need to go back and check it on this date. And then if it's not making money by then no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's great because, you know, one of the things that we've talked about in Studio Success Formula that we talk about in the Inner Circle is obviously class capacities and knowing the profitability of a class and when you break even in a class and when you make profit from a class. And so it's really important, you know, as you just heard from Laura, you know, she's got a system in place. You know, she doesn't keep the class going and 4 years later you go, oh, that class has cost me a lot of money over the last 4 years. You know, when it comes, I want to talk about you teachers because I think teaching, you know, preschoolers is very different to teaching an 8-year-old or a 10 or a 12-year-old recreational jazz class, for instance. I mean, what are you looking for when it comes to recruiting great teachers for this specific age group, you know, teaching preschoolers?
Yeah, super question. Again, I've got a nice little tick sheet, but mainly for us, it's the personality. We're not doing anything massively technical. Like I said, our oldest child is about 8 at the moment. So, you know, we're not doing any sort of like pirouettes or anything like massive jumps or anything. It doesn't need to be hugely technical, but I mean, they do need to have a basis of dance, obviously. But the personality for us is really important. And I have quite a strict sort of training process with them as well. So like they have to come for their interview and then I make them come and watch a couple of classes as well, because some people don't like how our classes are done as such. You know, like I said before, we give our classes or our teachers even the lesson plans and they pretty much follow that. Within that, there is a chance to be creative. They have to make up like a plie and tendu exercise and sort of a little dance within those class plans, but they are quite structured because they need to be with preschoolers because you need to keep the ball rolling the whole time. Otherwise, they're bored and they're lost and then you'll never get in the back of the rest of that class.
Yeah, they're gone. You know, they're licking the mirrors, they're running the mum, they're screaming. Yeah.
Definitely. So once they come and watch the class, then we have about 3-hour training session that we do with them. And then I make them shadow another teacher for about 6 weeks so that they can pick up other tips and tricks. If possible, I try to get them to shadow 2 teachers because we all do teach in our own ways and we all have different ideas and different, we use a lot of props in class, so different things that we can do with those props. And then they're finally sort of usually ready to go out on their own. But we have lots of team meetings as well, at least once a term. So sort of every 3 months, we have a team meeting where we all together discuss new ideas. Everyone says if they've had something that's happened and how they like resolved it or if they didn't resolve it. And then other people can throw in ideas of how to make that better. And then, you know, if there's anything new that I need to let them know, then I know that the teachers are always there. But in the meantime, they know they can contact me at any time and I'll help them out.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Such a good process for recruiting. I want to ask you, you know, you're coming into your second year in the Inner Circle. You know, a lot of people would say, well, you're in a baby, you know, you've brought into baby ballet, like why would you want to be a part of the Inner Circle? So what kind of made you, I guess, apply in the first place?
Yeah, I said to you when I'm on the call when I first applied, which if you don't know, you have to submit your application, and then Clint gives you a call to check, ask you a few questions and stuff. And I said to you on that, I do need some accountability sometimes, and having a monthly call with yourself is great because you're like, right, what did you do this month? Mm-hmm. And, every now and then I'm like, what did I do this month? I don't know. But, being able to sort of check off, yes, I've done this month, I've done this. That's absolutely fantastic. As I am part of a franchise, I do get lots of help from all the other franchisees, which is absolutely fantastic. And I love being a part of that, and I wouldn't want to leave that. But also being part of the circle, I get loads more ideas from everyone, and things that I've done in the last 12 months I wouldn't have done before, or even perhaps thought to do before. I've had so many new ideas, and they've definitely improved my business.
It's been it's been so great to have you on, but you can obviously tell when it comes to Laura, she has systems in place and she's got a checklist for everything. And again, one of the themes you would have seen with these interviews is that, our inner circle members are action takers. Like everyone is an implementer. They get the ideas, they take them, they implement them, they ask questions if they get stuck or challenged around anything, and then they just keep moving forward. Laura, I want to ask you, who would be, it's a question I've asked everyone we've done these interviews with, but who would be a great fit, do you think, for the inner circle? Because you know the group, you've been at our retreats. Who would be a perfect fit to come and join our inner circle family?
Definitely someone who wants to go a lot further. It's okay sort of plodding along, that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. And some people don't really want to push themselves, they're quite comfortable with where they are. That's not a good fit. You want someone who is going to push themselves and do the work as well. It's no good, just sort of signing up and thinking that, oh yeah, this is going to solve all of my problems and I can sit back and, sip a cocktail now, that's fine. I mean, one of the things we do work on is getting systems in place so that we can take some time off and go and sip a cocktail somewhere, but you need to put the work in prior to that so that you can then go and do that.
Yeah, great tip. One of the great things, Laura generally does a bit of a holiday either side of our retreats when we run our retreats.
I do like my holidays.
You do, and you love holidays. And I think that, we were just on a group coaching call earlier for Inner Circle, and two of our members have just come back from holiday. Nathan and Amanda, and they were both it was great because the studio, I don't have Wi-Fi, I don't have internet, I don't really need to check in, and everything just keeps running. And I think one of the crucial things that we really work on is what is going to free you up so that you can have that life outside the studio. I mean, what have you seen to be some of the benefits from getting those systems in place?
Today I woke up and I've hardly checked my emails today. I've got a few virtual assistants now, as you know. Carol, my main lady, who is my lifesaver.
We love Carol. We love Carol.
I don't know what to do without her. She dealt with everything today. I sent her a little list last night and I was like, can you send all the invoices for next term? Can you enroll these children into next term? Here are a few that aren't coming back. Take them off. Get all of this done. And then I just got a nice little email update from her. Yep, done all of that. What do you want me to do tomorrow? And she's got set things that she does every day and picks them off again on a nice little tick sheet. But yeah, just I didn't have to do any of that, and the business still run. I could have today done nothing to do with ballet. All the classes went ahead, all the admin's been done. I can back today.
Yeah, it's important. That you've got the freedom and the flexibility to be able to have those days where you can relax and rejuvenate. And because I think that's when you get creative and you bring in more innovation, so there's no burnout. Because a lot of studio owners, as we know, and a lot of people join the Inner Circle because they're like, I'm burnt out. I've had enough and something needs to change. Otherwise I'm going to shut my business or sell it, or I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. I want to get from you, as we kind of wrap up, I want to get like the 2 to 3 things that you've really focused on over the last 12 months that you believe has contributed to, to the growth that you are having.
Yeah. So I'm definitely doing a lot more things to try and keep people for longer. With preschoolers, we do get quite a bit of turnover, which is just going to come with the territory because parents like to try their children in different activities. And, if their child isn't playing ball, which they don't always, then sometimes they don't want to keep going back. But, we've done like parties and we're trying to do them every month, which the ones we've had have been fantastic and everyone's loved them. I've just organised a trip to the theatre in the summer holidays. We're going to see the Gruffalo and doing some more summer holiday parties. We've had lots more things to try and keep people coming for longer so that they feel part of like a family and a community, and they're not just seeing people for half an hour every week at their class. They're actually seeing them outside of class and for a lot longer, and they're able to talk to us. So that's definitely one thing. And another one I would say is our onboarding, which is fantastic. That's just changed like my entire business, I think. That took me like a week to set up, and all the way through it, I was like, why am I doing this? This is like taking forever. This is like a whole week of work, and what is it actually going to do? But we've now got an automated system. So as soon as someone does their first class, one of my other virtual assistants inputs their details into MailChimp, and it's an automated system, and they get a set 6 emails straight away, and they explain everything they should possibly need to know about baby ballet, about classes, about when to pay, uniform, events, absolutely everything. And that's cut down the rest of our admin time so much because they know it and they don't need to keep asking questions. And we're not answering the same questions again and again and again because it's all in those automated emails. So even though that did take a long while to set up, it's definitely been worthwhile because now it's just saved us so much time. And everyone feels like we have told them things and they do know what's going on, even if they don't always read their email, which is just one of those things. 9 times out of 10, people have seen it and they have read it and they do know what's happening.
Completely. I mean, that's been a game changer for so many Inner Circle members. Like that's the onboarding process. Because it takes, and a week for people probably thinking a week's not very long, like in the big scheme of things.
Yeah.
But you get in there, you do the work, you implement it, you work out the technology. But that system is so good for so many things. Like you just said, reducing admin time around those silly questions that we get all the time, and making sure that they continue past that 3 weeks. We know that in the first 4 to 8 weeks is when people either leave or stay. And so many studios don't have any onboarding process in place. They just start, they throw the kid in the class and they pray for the best. And so, it's awesome. Again, you're such an implementer, like everyone in the group. It's just so good at taking action. What would you say to someone, Laura, who was thinking about the Inner Circle, but they were like, I don't know, like if this is the right time for me, or I think I'll maybe wait until next year. What advice would you give them around that?
So if you're thinking, I'm going to wait till next year, then like in a year's time, you're already going to be 2 years behind. I've done so much in the last 12 months. I think if I hadn't joined, I'd probably be like a year behind, like where I think I am now. I probably would have done a lot of things, probably not as well. I probably would have done a lot of things that I have done, but not as quickly and not as well. The thought of having like a call with you every month and I'm like I say, what have I done this month? I'm like, actually, no, I have done a lot. Or like Clint's expecting me to have done this, so I need to have done it, otherwise he's going to tell me off.
Yeah.
Not that you really tell us off.
Well, no, sometimes I
Keep us
do.
in
Like,
check.
let's be honest. Like sometimes I do because like that's their, when you talk about accountability, but even like in the weekly coaching calls, like it's you got to keep moving forward, right? Because like like I said, we're a team of implementers, and I want you to get results, and that's what you're investing your time and money into is ensuring you get those results and quickly. And so yeah, sometimes I put the bullet in, put the cracker up and say, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? What's going on with that?
And sometimes we need that as well. So
yeah, we all do. We all do. Laura, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us and your journey. I'm so proud of what you've achieved, and you just keep like every month, like there's like more news, and I've done this, and celebrating the birthday and getting all those new enrollments. Like you had 1 month this year.
Yeah.
Tell us about that month, because that was pretty incredible.
September is when the schools go back in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's always a massive month for us. And we had 300 new children start in September, which, I thought 150 the year before was amazing. And then it was sort of getting to like 250. And I was like, I wonder if I can double last year. It's like, that would be really good. So then like that last little push to, sort of get it over, I think it was like 302 in the end, something like that. But yeah, over 300 new starters just in September was a bit crazy. But again, having systems in place to be able to process all of them, get them all booked into classes, make sure they're all paid in advance, make sure they're into the onboarding system. Just when they finish like their trial, that we're contacting them to make sure if they want to carry on or not. All of that's done on a great system. So I know that it's all there and it's all been implemented properly.
So cool. So cool. I love it so much. Hey, Laura, where can our studio owners that are listening go for more information about your 18 venues and all the great things that you're up to?
If you go to the Baby Ballet website, babyballet.co.uk, you'll be able to find out all about Baby Ballet. And if you want to check out me in particular, if you pop in at Romford, it will come up with all of my classes on there, and you'll see a nice little picture of me.
Amazing. And also a happy picture of Miss Laura. Thank you so much, Laura. So great as always to chat with you, and I appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
I hope you really enjoyed that interview and got a lot of value from it. Took a couple of pages of notes maybe on how you can really take your studio to the next level. Now, if you'd like my help and our experts and our coaches and you'd love to be part of a small group of studio owners from all around the globe, I'd love to invite you to apply for our inner circle. You can go to dancestudioownersassociation.com/inner circle to get all of the details and to fill out your application. It's a coaching and a mastermind program that lasts for at least 12 months. We run live events, 3-day retreats with our members. We do weekly group coaching calls. We have a really beautiful, supportive group of studio owners from around the world that are part of our inner circle, with everyone having the one goal, which is to grow their studio while having a life outside of their business. And let me tell you, it's definitely possible. Check out our website, dancestudioownersassociation.com/inner circle for all the details. I would love to receive an application from you. See you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. For all the resource links from the show and to receive access to our free dance studio growth training, make sure you visit transformmydancestudio.com.